Bert. Come take a look at what I found in the office this morning.
What is it, Joe? My gosh, an open manhole.
No, it's a mouth. And I think there's a man behind it.
Who is he?
I don't know. Must be that new guard they put on the graveyard shift. Kid named Hardy.
You know, it kind of gives you a feeling of security to know we got a man like that on the job, huh?
Yeah. Well, let's get him up. We got a big consignment coming in today. Hey, Hardy, 8 o'clock, rise and shine. Didn't budge him. Wait, I got a better idea. Okay, you mugs, back the trucks up. We're cleaning out this warehouse and heading for the border.
Oh, good night. This guy looks like an ad for knockout drops.
Hey, I tell you what, let's fire his gun. That ought to do it.
That's a good idea. Stand back.
He couldn't be dead and make a noise like that, could he?
I never saw anybody sleep that hard. What are we going to do with him?
Well, we could turn him into the lost and found.
You know, Joe, I hate to suggest it.
What?
It's a low-down, dirty trick, but...
Go ahead. I like it already.
Well, what do you say we carry him down the street and dump him in that vacant lot?
Oh, that's murder. Yeah, he'll wake up and wonder what in blazes hit him.
Well, look, you grab his legs and I'll take his arm.
All right.
All right, now, careful. I don't want to wake him up now.
Oh, boy, I'd give a day's pay to see the expression on his face about an hour from now.
He'll have to go some to beat the one that's on his face now.
Are you up?
Yes, dear. We're right in here having breakfast.
Why, wait till you hear what happened.
Well, you mean you had some excitement on your new job already?
Excitement, Dad. The biggest crime wave in years has broken out.
Crime wave?
It's amazing. You won't believe it when I tell you. Believe me.
No, we won't, dear, but tell us anyway.
Well, look, Mom, about 4 o'clock this morning, I dropped off to sleep in the warehouse.
Andrew, you went to sleep on the job?
Well, Beezy doped me. But I couldn't have handled these guys anyway.
What guys, dear?
The most daring, the most clever crooks of all time.
Good heavens, you mean someone broke into the warehouse while you were asleep?
Worse than that, Dad. When I woke up, I was lying on cold, buried ground.
Oh.
Right out in the open.
Oh, goodness. And what happened?
The biggest robbery in history, that's what.
Robbery? You mean they stole something from the warehouse?
From the warehouse? Dad, they stole the warehouse.
And now back to the Hardy Family, starring Mickey Rooney, Louis Stone, and Fay Holden. If ever a man was destined to become a great criminologist, a famous G-man, or an outstanding chief of police, Andy Hardy is obviously not that man.
Dad.
Yes, Andrew?
You happen to have any fingerprint dusting powder around the house?
Fingerprint dusting. Well, now, you know, son, that's strange.
It is? Why?
Yes, I was just thinking this morning. I've got to remember to get a fresh box of fingerprint dusting powder.
Oh, Dad, please, look. Oh,
you know, it just seems to disappear around here, just like embalming fluid. Never can keep enough embalming fluid in the house, either.
I only asked for a simple bit of fingerprint dusting powder, that's all.
Oh, Andy, dear, there's some dusty fingerprints on the piano, if they'll help.
Sweetheart, look, you don't seem to understand. I'm faced with a terrific, baffling mystery.
And, Andrew, there was no mystery. You know now that the warehouse wasn't stolen.
Oh, that's not the point. I was.
Oh, dear, there's nothing to worry about. You found yourself.
Well, look, darling, you don't understand. Somebody must have carried me out of that warehouse and put me in that vacant lot. It's obvious somebody was trying to get me out of the way.
Well, I'd say it's pretty obvious they certainly succeeded.
They dragged me out, threw me in the lot, and then went back to rob the warehouse.
Yeah. I'll bet they were surprised when they found it empty.
They probably miscalculated. A big consignment just came in today. Yeah, that's what they were after.
But they didn't get it, dear.
It's all clear now. Don't you see? They'll be back. If I could only get someone to come to the warehouse with me tonight. Oh, I'd like to set a trap.
Oh, yes, I imagine that old place must be full of mice.
No, honey, I mean a trap for the crooks. They'll be back. The criminal always returns to the scene of his crime, believe me.
But there was no crime.
Dad, there's going to be. Believe me, there is going to be. If I could just sit at the desk again tonight and pretend to be asleep, and somebody else were to hide behind the office door.
Well, dear, maybe Beezy Anderson would do it.
Anderson, he wouldn't come within a mile of the place.
Well, now, don't look at me.
Huh?
I intend to get a good night's sleep.
Mom?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'd simply die if I saw a real criminal.
Well, there's only one other person I could hope to get. Polly Benedict.
Well, son, I hope you know what you're doing.
Don't worry about me, Dad, but just in case I'm not home by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning...
Yes, dear?
Bring a pillow and blanket out to the vacant lot. It gets pretty cold out there. Mom, Dad.
What?
The case is all wrapped up.
What's that?
Yes.
Well, Andrew, you mean that you've mastered the mystery already?
Oh, I don't monkey around with the thing when I really go to work on it, Dad, believe me.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. How did you manage it, dear?
Sit down a minute while I dictate my report on the case of the vanishing warehouse.
Dictate?
Yes, certainly. A private eye always makes out a report.
Oh, can you take shorthand, Emily?
Oh, no, dear. No. Can you?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, maybe if Andy could speak in shorthand, I could take it down in longhand.
Never mind, Mom. I'll give you the report anyway.
That's good. Now, let's have it.
Private investigator Andrew Harney, license number 4615-342-64917.
Yeah?
852-653-1597-910
Okay.
Jack Queen King.
Well, that sounds like the roll call at San Quentin.
Yeah. Well, as I was about to say, I left the house here and started for Polly B.
Oh, James, isn't that an exciting report?
Darling, sweetheart, I'm just starting out on the report.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
I was in a completely new world outside our house. It was entirely different from being inside the house.
Oh, James, isn't that weird?
That's positively spooky.
There's a dense fog that wrapped around me like a blanket.
Fog? When?
Oh, James, there's always a fog.
Somewhere out in that pea soup, a mournful boat whistle sounded. Woo! Woo! Yeah. It was spine-tingling.
I imagine it was, when you consider there isn't any water within 200 miles of here.
Groping blindly, I found my way to Polly's house. I rang the doorbell. Said door opened. I'll never forget the shock I got at that moment. There was a short circuit in the doorbell, you see. Standing in the doorway was... Who do you suppose?
A banshee?
Christopher Columbus.
A leprechaun?
Admiral Dewey?
Well,
now it's your turn again, Emily.
It was Polly.
That's unbelievable.
Yes, Polly.
Imagine Polly Benedict being at Polly Benedict's house. Amazing.
She was beautiful. So happy, gay, and alive with living. I felt like I was defacing a beautiful painting, but I had to tell her I was on a mission of danger, that death might be lurking just around every corner. I'll never forget how she smiled bravely and said ever so sweetly to me.
Honestly, Andy, I think you're a screwball.
Look, sweetheart. I'm in this thing deep. Up to my neck, understand?
Well, that certainly isn't very deep.
Listen, sweetheart, we gotta move. We gotta move fast. You want to work on this case with me or not?
Well, what do you want me to do?
Just hide behind the door of the warehouse office for a few hours, that's all.
A few hours?
And keep your Roscoe ready for action.
Roscoe who?
Your gat, woman, your gat.
Oh.
When the crooks come in the room, you jump on them from behind and it's all over.
You mean I'm all over?
It's a cinch. I got it figured right down to the second.
And what will you be doing all this time?
I, little lady, will be sleeping at the desk.